All right, we are open to last night's homework, page 417 and 418. Here is 417. So here's 417. We had number 3, number 2, number 3, number 7, number 8, number 13, and number 19. So, looking at number 2. For number 2, they already gave you the LCD. You didn't have to do that. So, if we had 5 2/5 and 4 1/2, 10 is the least common denominator. And then we had to convert our fractions. So 5 times 2 gets us 10. So we would take 2 times 2 equals 4. Same with 1/2. 2 times 5 equals 10. So 1 times 5 equals 5. Jack P, hold on to that and pull up your math. Thank you. So we wind up with 4/10 and 5/10. So when we add 4/10 and 5/10, we end up with 9/10. Now 5th grade, is 9/10 an improper fraction? 9/10? No. So we didn't need to convert that to a mixed number. So we just simply had to add then the 5 and the 4 for 9, so 9 and 9/10. How many of you got 9 and 9/10 for number 2? How many of you got 9 and 9/10 for number 2? Awesome. Number 3, though, we did end up having to convert. So 1/8 and 3/4. Least common denominator is 8. So we didn't have to do anything to the 3/8. But the 3/4, we had to turn into 6/8. So we would have 3/8 plus 6/8, which would get us 9/8. Now, is 9/8 an improper fraction? Yes. So 9/8 would have then been turned into 1 and 1/8. How many of you turned 9/8 into 1 and 1/8? Okay. Okay. So then we would have taken our 1 and 1/8, then added the 1 and the 6 to it. So 6 plus 1 is 7, plus the 1 and 1/8 would get us 8 and 1/8. How many of us got 8 and 1/8 for number 3? Okay, awesome. Okay, are there questions on number 2 or 3 so far? Questions? Do you have a question, Jacqueline? Oh, what did you notice?
I forgot to add the numbers.
Oh.
So I used like the difference between the two numbers and leave that as the number.
Oh, got it. Richie.
What are 2 times I put it in 8 and 2/16?
So you made 16 the LCD? Hey, 5th grade, what's up? You think so? Yeah, I would accept that. 8 and 2/16, I'd accept it. Philip, do you have a question?
No.
Did you already correct this page for yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, you feel good about it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we had 2, 3, then 7 and 8. So 7 here, 3 and 7/8 plus 5 and 2/3. So we ignore those whole numbers. We focus on 7/8 and 2/3 first. Well, we have 8 and 3. The least common denominator for 8 and 3 is 24. So 7/8 would become 21 24ths. 2/3 would become 16, right? 16 24ths, I believe. So we'd have 21 24ths plus 16 24ths. Am I wrong about that? Okay, so what's 21 plus 16, 5th grade? 37 24ths. Is that an improper fraction? Oh yeah, 37 over 24, that's an improper fraction. So, guys, I'm waiting for your voices. So we would ask, okay, how many times does 24 go into 37? It goes in once. So that would become our whole number 1. Then we would ask, okay, that's 24. How many more pieces does it take to get to 37? And how many more pieces does it take, 5th grade? Going from 24 to 37. 13. So you would have 1 and 13 24ths, right? Okay, I'm doing this in my head, okay? 1 and 13 24ths. Yeah, and then we would add the 5 and the 3. So 5 plus 3 is 8. plus the 1 and 13/24, we would get 9 and 13/24. How many of you got 9 and 13/24 for number 7? How many of you got that? Okay. Okay. Finally, we had number 8. Number 8, we have a 6 and a 9 as our denominator. So 18 is our LCD. So 5 6 would become 15 16, or excuse me, 15 18ths. And then 5 9ths would become 10 18ths. So 15 plus 10 is 25. So we would have 25 18ths. So we would ask ourselves, how many times does 18 go into 25? Goes in once. So that would be our whole number 1. Then how many more pieces does it take for us to go from 18 to 25? 7. So we would have 1 and 7/18. Then we add our 9 and our 4 to it. Well, 9 plus 4 is 13, but 13 plus 1 and 7/18 gets us 14 and 7/18. How many of you got 14 and 7/18 for number 8? Okay. How many of you at least recognize that 18 was the LCD? Awesome. All right, 5th grade, I want you to show me on your hand on this page, how are you feeling 1 through 5? How are you feeling on this page? And I want you to be honest with me. We've only done this once. Okay. Philip, how are you feeling about this? Okay. Jessica, how are you feeling? Yeah. All right. Zoe, how are you feeling about this? You took notes yesterday. How are you feeling about this? Okay. All right. Now let's look at page 418. So 418, we had 2 questions. We had 13 and 19. 13 was a little tricky. For 13, it said that Teresa wants to put a fence around her garden. She has 22 yards of fence material. Does she have enough to go all the way around her garden? Explain why or why not. Well, short answer, no, she doesn't. She needs more fence material in order to go all the way around. So what you could have done, and this is what I did with some students who asked for my help. If our right side of the garden is 4 2/3, that means the left side is also 4 2/3, right? Because this is a rectangle. And if the bottom side of the garden is 6 3/4, that means the top would be 6 3/4. So right away, if we were to just add up the whole numbers, it would be the same as adding 6, 4, 6, and 4. Well, 6 and 6 is 12, and 4 and 4 is 8. So 12 plus 8 is 20. So we haven't gone over 22 yet, so that's 20. So then we would need to figure out, okay, then we have an extra 2/3 on the right, an extra 2/3 on the left, an extra 3/4 on the bottom, and an extra 3/4 on the top. So then we would want to go ahead and add 2/3 plus 2/3, and then 3/4 plus 3/4, and then add those two together. Well, if we add 2/3 plus 2/3, we get 4/3, right? 2/3 plus 2/3 would give us 4/3. So 4/3 is the same as 1 and 1/3. So now we have 20 plus 1 and 1/3. Then we would add the 3/4 plus 3/4. Well, 3/4 plus 3/4 is 6/4. And 6/4 is an improper fraction. So 6/4 is the same as 1 and 1.5, isn't it? 1 2/4. I think so. For 3/4.
Oh.
Yeah, 1 2/4, which is the same as 1.5. So right away, by getting those, we would have the 20 from just adding the whole numbers from 4, 6, 4, and 6. Then when we add 2/3, we get 1 and 1/3. And then when we add the 2 3/4, we get 1 and 2/4. So that's the same as 20 plus 1 and 1/3 plus 1 and 2/4. So automatically that's above 22, because if we just add those whole numbers again, that's 20 plus 1 plus 1, that's 22, but then we still have the 1/3 and the 2/4 left over. So she still needs another 5 6 yards to go all the way around the garden. Yes, Addie? So you rounded to the nearest yard? That would work. That would work. Will? Yeah.
I got it above, but I got the front.
Okay, what did you get?
I got 22.
Oh yeah, so maybe when you were adding one of the fractions, you must have just made a silly mistake, and that's totally okay. But yeah, short answer, no, she does not have enough. Mackenzie.
I got I got 10, 12.
That would work. That would work. Richie?
I got the no.
Yeah.
Correct, but I got 24, 10, 12.
Yeah, so that's 24 and 10 12?
Yeah.
I think you made a silly mistake when you're adding the whole numbers. Because 10 12ths would work for 5, 6. Yeah. Yep. All right. So I know 13 was really difficult. I get that. So if you got it wrong, don't begin down on yourself. This was a tough question, but I wanted to see how we did with it. All right. Then we had 19. So 19, Larry studied for 2 1/4 hours on Monday. He studied for 2 5/6 hours on Tuesday. Write an addition sentence. So when they say addition sentence, it's just this plus this equals this, to show how many hours he spent studying Monday and Tuesday. So we needed to add 2 1/4 plus 2 5/6. When we do that, we end up with 5 1/12. Because 1/4 would become 3 twelfths, and 5 6 would become 10 twelfths. So that would be 13 twelfths. That would turn into 1 1/12. So 1 1/12 plus 2 gets us 5 1/12 hours. How many of you remembered hours in your answer? How many of you remembered your units? All right. All right, 5th grade. Okay, here's what we are going to do. We are going to get ready for today's notes. So we're practicing a lot of the same skills as yesterday, except today we're subtracting. Will, do you have a question?
I did the math for the number 13. I just
Oh, you did? Okay. All right, so what I'd like you guys to do is open up in your notebook to the next clean page, please, for today's notes.